Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to OpenMikeWorkshop. My name is Mike, and we're back again for the next part of the Soup to Nuts series. The next instrument is the oft-neglected bass guitar. Is it percussion? Is it a guitar? I mean, in the name itself, obviously it's a guitar. It's a string instrument. But it really plays hand in hand with the percussion. You could say it's an extension of the percussion. You could say it's the low end of the guitar. You could say whatever you wish, but I would highly recommend that you include bass guitar in your music. If you don't have one or don't really know how to play the bass guitar, I highly recommend the virtual instrument, the virtual bass guitar that comes with Cakewalk Sonar. It's really good. It sounds great. We've used it in some of our songs where the bass is just a bit too complex. But for this song, it's not that complex. So, should be okay, should be able to do this. So, let's go ahead and kick it off and get started on the bass guitar. Enjoy!
In a world before guitar solos, before lead singers, before anyone even knew what a drummer was doing, one primitive musician began a journey to discover the groove. And then he discovered something ancient musicians would spend centuries trying to understand: that the bassist carries the band. Literally. From that moment forward, the most powerful musical instrument was born: the bass guitar. 4 strings, unlimited responsibility. Thousands of years later, the tradition continues, standing quietly in the background, holding everything together. Because when the bass is right, the whole world feels it, even if nobody knows why.
Okay, playing some bass. Alright, so we have all the sheet music here. I'm just going to try a couple times here. The verse looks repetitive. I'll play the first one a few times. The chorus looks pretty repetitive as well. There's a couple little tricky things in there I might try, but looks a little repetitive. Let's give it a shot. First thing you want to do is add a new track. This is just a regular track, not an instrument. So just a plain old track is just an audio track. Just means a new one. New instrument of any kind that you want to plug in and play, microphone, whatever it might be. Just new track is an audio track. Alright, and then you find the new track and you arm it. Well, first I'm going to name it. This is the bass. Alright, it's named bass and it's armed. I'm going to turn the microphone off because I don't want to record the mic. Just want to record the bass, which is plugged in, playing through my audio interface, which is coming into the computer. It's pretty loud. Turn it down a little. That made it worse. There we go. That sounds good. Alright, microphone off, and it's just going to be bass from here on out. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it was rough in some points. I didn't practice this as much as I thought I did. But that's alright, I think I can piece this together. And maybe that's what I'll stop and show you how to piece different segments together to make it sound like it should have. Fix your mistakes, basically. I'll do that next. Alright, so now we're gonna go ahead and fix the bass. So we just played some, and we noticed there were some. Let me stop here. Let's just listen back to it. So you listen back and you highlight the good parts, basically. So let's try that. Everything's half a beat off for some reason. Don't know if it was because I'm recording or if I just played bad. I mean, that's quite a bit off. You try to line up with the actual measure. That's your beat 1 in percussion. So you'll hear when you get to... And everything is half a beat off. Let me just try to take that. Looks like this whole section might be off. So what I'm going to do here, I want to shift everything back from here to here. There might be a delay because of the screen record. Not sure. So let me go ahead and split here. I'm just basically dividing the one recorded measure into 2, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to split it here. So I'm basically... From the start of the measure, I'm going to delete all the extra space that's there for some reason. I'm just going to delete it. So you highlight any section. So there's now 3 sections. Whichever one you want to delete, press the delete button and it goes away. Now I'm going to shift it all back. So the whole sound will go back that much. I think that will make it sound like it should have. Let's hear. Much closer. It's not perfect, and it's starting to bother me. It's a little slow in some places. The first 2 were good. Thought the problem was fixed. That was a little early, actually. So let's say I want to split this again. All right, this is the beginning of the next note, and I'm going to split here at the beginning of the next note. So I'm looking for the sounds. You can see in the waveform, this is where the bass note is and where it ends. So this one I'm going to split again. Okay, so now we have the beginnings of both beats. That should be here, and that one should be here. So you can see how they're off. So I'm going to, again, cut the tail end of this piece off. So just select here. Actually, select this section. I'll just split right here. All right. And now I'm going to move it to where it belongs. On every 1 and 3, it's the downbeat. That's good. That's a little early. So again, I'm going to trim off the tail. Where there's no sound, you can see it's flatlined. Again, I'm just deleting these empty sections to give me room to maneuver. Delete. And this should move to the right just slightly, like that. And this looks good. So we should hear a difference. Let's just listen. Something got messed up there. Yeah, now it's too early. So the whole shift, I think, was a radical idea, but didn't have the right output. So everything sounds good up to here. Let's just keep checking these. We're off again. So cut where it starts, and here's where it should start. It's a very subtle delay, but it's too much. Hopefully you can play it right the first time. You don't have to do this. So this isn't preferable. All right, that's a little late. Yeah, these splits are just making the existing music more malleable, so you can move it around. There. This one is probably not even noticeable, but I'm doing it anyway. Looks good. Yeah, looks all right. Okay, that's early. All right. I don't want to listen, and I think I just need to get one good section, and I can just, this looks like a copy-paste. This is going to be a copy-paste bass. All the notes are there, I just have to put them together. Alright, let's hear how that sounds so far. Hopefully I have a section I can start looping. Okay, so that's a mistake, my first mistake. So what I'm going to do is find out where that mistake is. Right there. We're just going to split it where there's an error. So I know this is all bad here. One little measure, let's hear it. And then it splits into the chorus. So I need to add a verse here. So let me just cut it right at the edge. All right, so this is all bad, and I need to stick a verse worth of bass into there. So let's go back to the beginning. Find just one. Right here. All right, so if you want to copy and paste a section that was played correctly, that you want to paste somewhere else, just click and drag to the right until you get the number of measures or whatever section you're trying to copy. 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Copy it, Control C, go to your blank section, stay in the same track, Control V. That should have filled it in. Let's see here. Mistake. Okay, a couple of mistakes I have to clean up, but I will go ahead and clean those up and we'll pick right back up with a cleaned up version and we can listen to it. So we fixed the bass, a lot of adjusting, but that's how you do it. If your timing was off, you can fix it in Cakewalk. You can keep doing take after take after take after take until you get it perfect, or you can just do it once and say, hey, that was good enough. Or if you're somewhere in between like me, I like to make it sound not robotic, so still a little, not absolutely 100% perfect, but on rhythm at least. So let's just hear it. It sounds a lot better, and I got rid of all the flubs. So I'm really listening through it one more time to listen for flubs. This is now the percussion. We have the rhythm guitar, a couple of lead bits that we still have to work on quite a bit, and then the bass. So let's just hear all that, and the drums. Let's hear how that all sounds. From the beginning would be good. So to go to the beginning of any song, this is the marker right here that I'm clicking and dragging. It moves your start position. So what you want to do is go all the way back to the beginning. So I'm going to take this is the bar too. This is like a scroll bar. I'm going to go all the way to the beginning and just click right on top. Now I reset to play here. Now let's hear it through, just once. Alright, and that's good enough for government work. Now the bass is done. Up next, vocals or guitar? We'll see. One of the two. Talk to you later.